The following is a paid advertisement. The views expressed are the sole responsibility of the advertiser.
Put the power back in your hands. This is Behind the Law with attorney Justin Clark.
Hi, welcome to the show. Happy weekend to you. It's Behind the Law, joined as always by my beautiful co-host, Makaila Nichols. Makaila, how are you?
Great.
You are not a lawyer. You say thankfully often.
Yeah, I'm not.
I am a lawyer. You are the voice of the people at home. We're here live to answer any questions that you have. Phone number's on the screen, 321-282-1055. Literally, you can call us here, call us after, whatever you want. We're here to help you. I heard your mother, I haven't told you this, on the phone with you the other day, and she said, ha 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 ha. I was watching you give Justin a hard time on the show. I heard this, and she said it was so funny.
Yeah, no, it is.
She was talking trash.
She calls
You're
us
talking
yin
trash.
and yang.
Yin and yang? Is that good or bad?
I don't know. That's just what
like
she says.
Like oil and water?
Yeah,
that
kind of.
Be good?
Well, but the yin and yang at least kind of come together.
Oh,
and there's,
so that is a good thing.
Yeah.
So the government's firing everyone. Hey, it's not a political show, but maybe sometimes it's okay to get rid of some non-performing people,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. But what about you? How does the state of Florida treat you as an employee? What rights do you have? You have some. You always hear it's a right-to-work state and anyone can fire you for anything at any time. You've heard that before, right?
But no one really knows what it means.
But is that true? That's the question we're going to answer today with my good buddy. I kind of have a man crush on Carlos Leach.
I know you do.
Have I ever told you that?
I know, you were like lighting up just talking about him.
I do. I love Carlos. I want to hang out with him all the time, but he's too busy. I'm too busy. Like, we're going to start hanging out. You're going to get mad. We're going to hang out all the time.
No, please. Y'all go have a little bromance.
Attorney Sart Phillips jealous in the background. You hear that, right?
Cheating on him.
Here's what we're going to do. You're an employee. You've been fired. What can you do about it as Behind the Law continues? You own a house, you need to have your windows and sliding glass doors checked right away. I'll tell you why. Joined by my good friend Dan Bringman, Renewal by Anderson. How do I know, Dan, when it's time to have my windows and sliding glass doors checked?
Well, it's a great question because it's not always obvious. One of the ways that sticks out immediately is that energy bill. We have to make, we've seen it go up all year long. Got a couple cool days now. A couple other ways are they're not functioning properly. You have some dust on the seals, and also just water infiltration, or maybe you heard a lot of rattling during some wind and so forth.
Absolutely. QR code is on the screen for you right now. What does it cost to have you and your design team come out and see what's going on with my windows?
Absolutely nothing but your time.
That's a beautiful thing, and they're going to come check it out, tell you exactly what you need or don't need sometimes. But a lot of people say, well, Dan, I'm worried about the economy. I don't want to write a big check right now. You've done amazing things to make this almost free sometimes when you compare it to your electric bill.
Absolutely, and it's a great thing to be concerned about, but we take the worry away. What we've done is we've extended our finance plans, and we call them our easy pay plans, and they go up to 144 months, and we go as low as 5.97. I mean, that's like really low. Most terms out there go as high as 12, 14%.
And if you think about what you're paying every month versus how you're going to save money on your electricity bill, this is almost free for you and a no-brainer. Dan, always good to see you, buddy. Do yourself a favor right now. Hit the QR code on the screen and call Renewal by Anderson today. I'm attorney Justin Clark. Have you been threatened by the IRS and you're feeling scared? Call me now or visit youhavepower.com. Welcome back to the show. It seems like they're firing a lot of people in the federal government. I want to be serious when I look at this camera, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what we said?
Yeah, it's a
They're
little scary.
Firing a lot of people in the federal government. What are your thoughts on that politically?
I think it's happening.
I want you to say something political and see if people get mad or whatever.
Nope, I'm not going to play that card.
You're not going to do it?
Nope.
There's nothing I can do to entice you.
No, I mean,
All right.
Nope, nice try.
Well,
I was really close there for a second.
I
but
know,
I'm
I
not
was
gonna
hoping
say
you
it.
would. Maybe if we shoot this one again, you'll do it.
Maybe.
They're firing people in the federal government. A lot of people have gotten fired in Florida as well. You hear about Florida being a right-to-work state. I don't necessarily know what that means, but I know one person who does. It's my good buddy Carlos Leach, the Leach Firm. Carlos, what's up, man? Long time.
Glad to
We've been
be here.
talking about getting together for
I know, long
like
overdue.
6,
I feel
9
like
months.
I should just
something
leave and let you guys have a moment.
I mean,
know?
you
No
don't
comment.
have to, but you're allowed to stay if you want. But if you want, if you have something to do, it's fine.
No, that's all right.
Right-to-work state. What the heck does that mean?
No one really knows.
Yeah, I don't either.
I hate that term because it really doesn't mean what it says it means. The general rule is you really don't have a right to work here in the state of Florida, but what we do is we need to find an exception to that general rule. That gets us into the courthouse.
So what happens? I get fired. I don't really know why. What protections do I have?
Well, you have state laws, you have federal laws, but let me just give you some general examples. Let's say you are a person with a disability and you've been fired because of your disability, or you're a female and you're pregnant and you need a time off to tend to the pregnancy. Those are the types of exceptions to the general rule that get you into the courthouse.
Got it. I've read some articles about, I don't want to say strip club, adult entertainment facilities in some cases that involve those type of workers.
So this is an interesting area that we've been taking on more and more cases. We like to use the term exotic dancers.
There you go.
Yes.
My bad.
So here's the general scenario. The industry standard-wise is that these ladies work for these clubs, and a real legal situation, which would be fine with the law, is if they were independent contractors that could come as they go. But what we found is the clubs treat them like employees. They make them work 50, 60 hours a week. They tell them when they have to be there, when they can leave. They fine them for coming in late or vice versa, leaving early. And on top of that, they don't pay them any wage. In fact, it's the opposite. The dancers pay the club to work there, and they split part of their fees and things like that with the club. And so what the courts have found is if a club treats these dancers like that, now they've crossed the threshold from being an independent contractor to an employee, and now they're entitled to different types of protections, like minimum wage, overtime, and various things like that.
I think that's a fascinating point, because oftentimes you'll hear, well, I'm a 1099, so I don't really have any rights, versus I'm a W-2 employee. What is the difference?
Well, what you refer to basically is just the tax form that an employer would issue to a worker. A 1099 would go to an independent contractor versus a W-2 goes to an employee. But you don't get to determine whether somebody's an independent contractor or employee merely because you give them a form. Yeah. It's how you treat them. Do you control them? Do you train them? Do you have them come on a regular schedule? That determines whether you should be an employee versus an independent contractor.
I want to talk about you for a second, because I think you and I have some similarities in the size of our firm and our work ethic, because when I email you, it seems like no matter what time of day, you email back immediately.
I do.
I don't think people understand how hard it is to have a firm of our size, 20, 30, 40 people, something like that. And the practice of law in general, yes, you and I own a business, a law firm, but it's something more than that when your business is a law firm, don't you feel?
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I need to be the one that's most accountable to everybody. Yeah. And the best way to do that is to lead by demonstrating how important it is to me that things run smoothly and everything gets taken care of. Yeah. Sometimes I need to delegate a little bit more.
Same.
And I probably shouldn't be emailing like that all times in the night, but it is what it is.
Yeah. But it's a rewarding profession as well. As hard as we work, we're working for our own families, but we're working for our staff too. But we have all these clients that we're working for as well that you and I genuinely care about. It can be rewarding.
It is rewarding. Listen, most regular people don't know lawyers personally. Like, they don't have them in their cell phone, right? So when they contact the law office, they're reaching out for help, something that there's a service that they aren't used to getting. And I always tell my staff is when they hire us, we should be thinking that we're their lawyers for life. And the ultimate conclusion of the case typically ends up in a monetary check, but that's the conclusion of the case. It doesn't get any better than that. That means we won the case.
Right. You kind of ran the employment law department at the largest personal injury law firm in the world or whatever for many, many years, and then started your own thing. How did that help you kind of prepare to running your own firm?
Oh, it helped tremendously. Listen, I tell my staff all the time, we might have a law firm, but it's a business first, right? We just provide a very specific service. And so when you run a business, you need structure, right? Yep. You need to be able to train people properly and run everything like a normal business. So working for a very large firm like that, which was very successful, obviously, helped me mold the way we do our firm and set up different policies and procedures that we do. And it's worked out, and we've seen, tremendous growth in 7 years.
What does employment discrimination mean? When I hear that term, what does that mean?
Well, in general, it means you're being treated differently than the law allows for it. I mentioned 2 categories before, but you've heard things like race, religion, and those types of things. The law it identifies certain characteristics of people that cannot be treated differently than their counterparts.
Yeah.
In essence, that's what it means.
Yeah, I think a lot of employers watch this show as well. We're not just talking to employees, but when you talk to an employer who owns their own business, what are some of the mistakes you see them making? What would you tell them not to do?
Well, the first thing is many employers don't train employees on what they can and cannot do. You'll be surprised how many people don't even have a standard handbook.
Really?
Yeah, so that's rule number one. Employees think they know, but they don't, and they need to be trained on what they can and cannot do in the workplace, okay? Number two, we see a lot of wage issues. People aren't paid properly. You know, there's issues with not being paid overtime or misclassifying people that should get overtime when they don't. Those are big issues. So when you combine a lot of these things, employers fall into a really bad spot. I mean, listen, all they have to do is do a little research. I mean, we have a robust internet. You can go to governmental agencies like the EEOC, or last resort, you can hire a lawyer or some HR consulting firm. But there's options out there to keep yourself out of trouble, which we do ourselves, even as a law firm, believe it or not.
Salary versus hourly. What are the differences?
So salary versus hourly brings about a lot of repercussions, okay? So an employer can choose to pay an employee salary or hourly if they want to. But if they do, there are a few things they need to follow. One of the biggest misconceptions there is in America, in my opinion, is that employers think just because they pay somebody a salary, they don't get overtime. That is far from the truth. Certain people who earn a salary, depending on their job duties, do qualify for overtime. So, like I said before, the employer needs to do a little research and figure it out before they classify somebody as exempt or non-exempt from overtime.
Yeah, that's a lot of information. And by all means, if you're an employee, you feel like you've been treated wrongfully, fired wrongfully, give us a call right now, 321-282-1055. Here's what I'm going to do. Derek Moser might get a little upset with me, but we've never done this before.
Okay.
I want to take a break now. I want to hold Carlos over because I feel like we've hardly scratched the surface. I want to talk about a couple more things too, and I think this is important for you to know. You've been injured on the job, right? What do you do at that point? Can your employer fire you if you've been injured on the job? What do you do after that injury? Do you go to the doctor yourself? Do you tell your boss? Do you suck it up and say, I don't want to get fired? Also, personal injury, right? We see all the billboards around town saying, I got $1 million, I got 1.5 million. How common are those cases, and how badly do you really need to be hurt to get millions of dollars from a personal injury case? We'll address that and more with Carlos Leach and Makaila as Behind the Law continues. Did you know that filing for bankruptcy can help you lower your mortgage or car payments, or potentially help you eliminate your IRS or credit card debt? I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you find yourself living paycheck to paycheck, call me now or visit youhavepower.com for a free consultation. Many businesses say they support our veterans. Universal Roof and Contracting takes action, and they do support our veterans. Justin, we're here on a very special day, very special place.
Absolutely. We're down here in St. Cloud today honoring Mr. Michael Langto he is this year's Veteran Roof Giveaway winner. Could not be more thrilled. It is the heartbeat of our company. This is what we do every single year to give back to the veteran community, and we're here to listen to his story because it's a good one.
Michael, you have a brand new roof. It's beautiful. Came at an important time for you as well.
It sure did. We were just notified that our roof was 17 years old and had to be replaced, or the homeowner's insurance was not going to renew our policy.
How does it feel having this new roof, and how did Universal Roof and Contracting treat you?
Oh, we are so blessed. We are so thankful, and they treated us like kings and queens. They informed us every step of the way. They did a fantastic job. I couldn't be happier.
It really goes to show you what a great business you are. You've been around for a long time, supporting the veterans like you do, really a pillar of the community.
Absolutely, and that's what makes this so fun. It makes us believe in what we do. We've been doing this a long time. Again, founded by a family, by a veteran. This is something we do every year. We treat all of our clients exactly like we treat our veteran roof winners. And we encourage you, if you haven't had your roof looked at this year, to have us come out. It's free inspection for us to come see where you're at in the roofing process and what your next step would be.
Keep up the great work, guys. Michael, congratulations. Thanks for having us out. You did a great job today.
Thank you.
Visit Universal Roof and Contracting today. QR code is on the screen right now. You will not regret that decision. Welcome back to the show. Makaila's here. Carlos Leach is here. Carlos, and I want you to jump in and ask questions
I mean, you
too.
guys
I
are
know.
really just hanging out.
We're not having a
vibing.
cigar and a drink together. You can join us. You hang out with us.
Thank
okay?
you.
I want to ask you this because
Yes.
we've seen billboards. You do personal injury as well. These billboards that I got $1 million, I got $2 million. I think people believe that it's so easy to get injured and get $1 million or $2 million. It's not that easy, is it?
Not easy at all. First of all, many of the cases are based off the amount of insurance that the at-fault party has. And like you know, most people aren't driving around with these huge exorbitant policies. So that's your first limitation. Number two, you have to have significant injuries. There's a reason why these people get $7 million, seven-figure recoveries.
Yeah, totally agree. And when you get a new, let's say, car accident case that comes in and you see the insurance policy, how often is it that it's like 0 or 10,000 or something low?
Very often. Unfortunately, here in the state of Florida, there's still no requirement that drivers carry bodily injury insurance. Most people do, but many don't.
Yeah, it's really sick. I see people come in super injured, and there's literally no insurance. And we talk about it quite a bit, the UM coverage that you can get for yourself. Tell me about UM and how important that is.
We recommend to all of our clients, if they haven't already purchased uninsured motorists, which we commonly refer to as UM, that they purchase it for that very same scenario. If they're injured in an accident, it's not their fault, and they're seriously injured, if the other party has little or no insurance, that's a problem. If you have that type of policy, the UM policy, then it can kick in and provide that added coverage. I literally just spoke to a new client a couple of weeks ago. He was injured in a very bad motorcycle accident, fractured both arms, multiple surgeries. And what do you know, the other fault party had $10,000 in bodily injury coverage, and of course he didn't have uninsured motorists. There was not much I could do for him.
It happens all the time.
How do you know if you have UM coverage? Like, I don't even know if I have it, but I pay I have 2 cars, so I pay 2 insurances, so I would hope I have it.
Yep. So when I ask a new client that, I say, do you have uninsured motorist insurance? And they say, I have full coverage.
Yeah.
That's the standard response. Full coverage is a misnomer. The best way to do it is pull out your phone, go to your app, and check your insurance card. If you can't find it, simply call your agent, and they'll let you know.
And this is going to be a tough question. I don't know if you want to answer, but I'm thinking through it with you. Okay, so when someone is injured, obviously this market is saturated with personal injury attorneys. I mean, maybe the most saturated market in America.
I agree.
Let's say you weren't a lawyer and you got injured and you're hiring a lawyer. I mean, what would you want? Would you want someone like you who has a sort of a mid-sized firm, like me with a mid-sized firm, or a place with an army of attorneys? I mean, because you want to this is a big deal for you. You want to get treated not like a number. What would you be looking for?
So I might not be the average client, right? But you asked me the question, so I'm going to answer. I want a firm that has a track record of winning. They have the resources to go up against a big insurance company, and they treat me like my case is an individual case. I don't want to be one of a million on the factory line, and I want to be able to reach the attorney and the staff in reasonable phone calls, not every day, but you want to be able to get in touch with them and get a response, and just basically general updates on the case, how long is it going to take, what are my odds? Those are the types of things that I would want to look for in an attorney.
I think that's well said, for sure. So we've talked about employment law, okay? You've been fired. Can you sue your boss, essentially? We talked about that. We talked about personal injury, which is what you hear on TV all the time. Injured in a car accident, call us, no fee unless we win for you. Something that we don't talk about a lot, and I don't think people understand quite well, is workers' compensation. You're at work. You get injured while at work. What does workers' compensation mean?
Well, in short, it means you're in a bad spot in Florida. Let me put it to you that way. The law is definitely shifted towards the employer, okay? But in general, you get 2 things in the state of Florida if you've been injured on the job. You get medical benefits and you get lost wages. That's it. That's as simple as I can explain it.
Yeah. What about pain and suffering? Because you get injured in a car accident, you're going to get lost wages, and you're also going to get pain and suffering. What about in workers' comp?
What does that mean?
Yeah, what is pain and suffering then? How would you define that?
Let's go back. We were talking about personal injury cases. A part of the damages aspect of the personal injury cases, you can be paid and rewarded by jury for suffering through pain and suffering from the case as a result of your injuries, right? But those concepts don't apply to workers' compensation. Like I said, you get medical benefits and lost wages. No pain and suffering, no emotional distress. That is the only two things you get. You get doctors, MRIs, surgeries, therapy, and you get lost wages if you're unable to work due to the accident.
Yeah, and again, not a political show. I'll be honest with you, I'm a Republican, but this state legislator has screwed up a couple things here in recent years. Number one is the homeowners insurance. What they've done there has been an absolute nightmare, a disaster, okay? But also on workers' comp, they've made it very difficult, Carlos, for people to get competent attorneys for workers' comp because of some of the laws they passed.
This is true. Over the past 20 years, you'll see that every few years the insurance company will go to the state legislature and they're just all in on trying to reduce the amount of cases that are filed by attorneys. And one way to do that, obviously, is to limit the amount that an attorney can recover. Years ago, it got so bad, probably half of the attorneys, their practice on the plaintiff side of it, discontinued their practice. The sad part is people are going to continue to get hurt on the job. There's nothing you can do about that, and they need representation. So it's a dilemma for injured workers to find competent, good representation, but there are attorneys out there like our firm that really believe in helping people out because most of the time it's an accident. People didn't ask to be hurt on the job and they need help.
You know, there can be incentives for faking an injury in an automobile accident. At the end of the day, there are people who aren't really injured who go to get medical treatment to get money. They can't. Getting hurt on the job, there's not a lot of incentive to fake a work accident.
No, because there's no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so to say. So, you know, if you fake an accident, what are you really getting other than medical benefits and lost wages? It is true that most people settle their workers' compensation case, but you don't get these large settlements like you do in a personal injury case. And at the end of the day, I always tell everybody it ain't worth getting hurt on the job. It's just not.
And you talk about lost wages, but you're not even getting 100%, are you?
Nope. The law structures it. Generally, you get approximately two-thirds of your income.
Okay.
So,
I mean, the only maybe good thing about it's not good about getting hurt on the job, but fault doesn't really matter.
Fault doesn't matter. That's the plus about workers' compensation. All you need to do is show you were injured on the job. It doesn't matter what happened in the case. You literally could fall out of your chair at work, and if you're injured, it's considered covered. So that's one of the benefits of being hurt while working.
He's smart, huh?
No, I mean, this is so fascinating to learn.
Hope I didn't give anybody a blueprint on that.
No.
So the Leach Firm growing, obviously blossoming. I've kind of gotten to watch your growth as well from afar. I think we're about the same age, but it's been awesome seeing you grow. Where do we go from here?
To the sky.
Yeah.
Like my friend Michael Jordan said, the ceiling is a roof.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Carlos Leach, thanks for coming in, buddy. Good to see you, man.
Great to see you all again.
On a trip. I'm a little jealous.
Yes, I know. You weren't invited.
If you have any questions about, again, employment issues, workers' comp, personal injury, I'll connect you with Carlos right away. 321-282-1055. Here's what we will do. A quick break. When we return, it's
What Did We Learn?
As Behind the Law continues.
It is never a bad time to prioritize your health, your well-being. That is why I come to Bellam Wellness. I'm joined by Dr. Zaidi. You are a primary care physician first and foremost, but you started Bellam Wellness. Tell me a little bit about why you started it.
Bellam actually has been my passion from quite some time. I wanted to do something a little bit more than the primary care, so we can take care of patients from inside out. We want them to feel better.
It means beautiful soul, right?
Beautiful soul, absolutely.
And I love that because not only do you offer some aesthetic services, but pain management, you really do it all. Tell me about some of the other services you offer here.
The main is, which I love the most, is my laser services.
I love it too. That's where I get my laser hair removal done.
So the most common, as you know, is our laser hair removal, but we do the fine lines, wrinkles, scars.
Spider veins.
Spider veins, absolutely. That's one of my favorite to perform, actually, because you can see the results instantaneously. And scars, as I mentioned, and brown spots, pigmented spots.
Because we all have something that we're a little insecure about because we always look in the mirror, but you really help people find the beauty within themselves and kind of fix those little imperfections along the way. Dr. Zadie, I trust you with all my aesthetic related services.
Thank you so much.
And your family is so inspirational. I love the husband, the kids, all of them. I really enjoy coming here.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to continue giving service to you and the whole of the Central Florida.
Yeah, do yourself a favor. If you want to check out this amazing list of services, look no further than Bellam Wellness.
And we wrap it up today with you, as always, with What Did We Learn? The beautiful Makaila Nichols. What did you learn?
I learned a lot.
That?
Just a lot.
A lot.
I learned a
Genius.
lot. No, I mean, Carlos really knows his stuff.
He's cool.
I think it's crazy that, I mean, I never thought about the incentives of getting hurt on the job. No, there is none, basically, is what we learned.
I learned that he's going out of town. I'm really kind of angry. I love him. But I'm angry with him because we're not going anywhere.
I know, you guys were like hanging out, and now he's leaving you.
I do, and I don't know, it sounds weird. I do have a man crush on him. He's the kind of guy I want to hang out with. He's a really cool dude, but fantastic lawyer too.
Seems like you both could also learn to delegate too. That was a topic that was brought up.
Yeah, I know I need to delegate. It's hard. It's a tough business.
Listen,
so owning a law firm it's owning a business for sure. But there's like an elevated responsibility, you know? It's difficult, but it's fun, it's rewarding, but it can be tough as well. What?
No, I don't know what it's like to own my own law firm.
You kind of do, because you have to deal with me all the time.
I do, and I think you should delegate more.
Here's what I've also learned this past couple of weeks. I love it when the phone calls come in from you, because you watch us on the show, and you think, I have legal issues, and I've never really known who to call. I love it when you call us at 321-282-1055. And my commitment to you always is going to be this, never going to change, right? We meet people Monday through Saturdays. Anytime that you want to come in, we will meet with you. And we've always done Saturdays because a lot of the people that we work with have been going through a difficult financial time. And I don't want you to have to take off from work to come in and see us. Another commitment to you is this will never cost you a single penny. Do me a favor, right? Call some other law firms and say, hey, I have some questions about this or that. Oftentimes they're going to charge you $300, $400, $500 just to have a conversation with them or just to have a meeting with them. And I think it's not the way I run my business, right? I'm not being judgmental, but it's not the way I run my business. You're like, well, Justin, I see commercials all the time. It's free consultation, free consultation. Yes, those are personal injury law firms that will always do free consultations because you don't have to pay them anything until the end of the case. But other types of law, these lawyers and these law firms will charge you to come in. I don't do that. That's not how I roll. Say something nice about me.
That was great.
That's all you got?
No, it's true. He'll be there on Saturday. He's always there on Saturday.
Yeah. See, it's always got to be some kind of a fight. She hates it when I go in on Saturday.
Could be at the beach, but I've
been doing it for years.
It goes to show that that's what you care about.
And I think people appreciate that.
I think they
You know
do
what
too.
I appreciate?
What?
Our amazing team here. Thank you guys. You always do a great job. I also appreciate Carlos Leach for coming in. I appreciate you. You did a great job as always. Beautiful green dress. But mostly, I appreciate you for watching. We'll see you again next week for more Behind the Law. I'm attorney Justin Clark. If you're worried about your student loan payments restarting, call me now or visit youhavepower.com.
The proceeding was a paid advertisement. The views expressed were the sole responsibility of the advertiser.